What up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Matt Wyatt. So I recently just went out to go see the new Denis Villeneuve film, A Follow-Up to Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2. If you've been following me for a while, you know that this became my most anticipated film of 2024. I really enjoyed the first Dune. When I first saw Dune Part 1 in IMAX, I came out of the theater really liking it, but I wasn't so sure if I loved it. But then the more I watch it as time goes on, I really started to appreciate it more and more, and it gets better and better, and I love it. I'm not going to say it's a 10 out of 10 movie. It's not a masterpiece. I still thought that some of the second half of the film felt a little slow at times, and I feel like they should have picked it up a little bit more, but it doesn't matter. Overall, it was such a great movie, and I had a chance to see the re-release of Doom Part 1 in IMAX, including an exclusive sneak peek of the Doom Part 2. Loved it more the second time I watched it in IMAX. It was worth the experience to revisit that film again. For the first time in a long time. In Dune Part 2, you're following Paul Atreides, played by Timothée Chalamet, who unites with Chani, who is played by Zendaya, and he's reunited with the Fremen, and it's picking up where it left off in the first movie, and he's seeking revenge against the conspirators, who are the Arachnids and the Emperor, who is the one who destroyed his family and slaughtered the people that he knows and loves. And now he's faced with the ultimate choice between the love of his life, Chani, and the fate of the universe, and he has to prevent a terrible outcome in the future that he's the only one who can foresee. Now, I've been hearing a lot of positive word of mouth from critics and audiences saying that this is one of the best films of the year, and it's probably one of the greatest science fiction films ever made. And look, I'm trying to keep my expectations low because I don't want to go in there being disappointed, because there is such a thing as being overhyped. When people overhype a movie and you go into this movie like on a level of hype, you come out of the theater very disappointed most of the time. But this is one of those movies that I did not come out of the theater disappointed. This film left me speechless. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I didn't know what the hell to think of it. Not in a negative way. I fucking love this movie. I really did love this movie more than the first one. I felt like it had more deeper appreciation of the whole story, the whole world building, and the vermins. We really get a chance to really know the vermins in this movie than we did in the first one, because we only heard it when it was on paper. But then when you see Paul Atreides really getting to know the vermins and really learning their ways of how they handle things, and you got two sides of the vermin, one from the north and one from the south. The south are the people that one who truly believes in the whole prophecy and the Messiah, who is Paul Atreides, the one who could unite them, unite the whole universe, and give them into a better future. And you see the north side, who doesn't believe in all that stuff, and they think that they made this shit up and it's all fake. And Zendaya is one of the north who is a non-believer, but she really like is so fond and fascinated by Paul Atreides that she really wants to guide him and teach him the ways of how to be a vermin out in the desert planet called Arachnis. And I thought that the relationship development between her and Timothée Chalamet was so good. It was so believable, and it never felt forced. It's not one of those Hollywood cliches that they had to put these two together just because that's what the audience wanted. No, it felt natural and it felt organic, and I really believed their chemistry together. It flows so perfectly well. The cinematography, oh my God, it continues to be a hell of a work of art. The music score by Hans Zimmer, it was an icing on the cake. It really puts you on the edge of your seat. The music score was so intense. I'm a big Hans Zimmer fan. Like, you may know his work from The Lion King, Man of Steel, The Dark Knight trilogy, Inception. He is probably in my top three favorite music composer of all time. I love his work, and he continues to crush it. He knows how to make you feel. He knows it added a lot more character development than they did in the first one, because the first one had a lot more of a build up. Because Dune Part 1 and 2 are the two halves of the book, from what I've heard from people who have read the book. And I've never read the book of Dune, but I went in this movie completely blind without having any knowledge of the book. And because I didn't want to know anything, because I don't want to get anything that has a potential spoilers. I want to go in there completely blind as possible. And I was so impressed by the cast. The performances were a top tier Oscar level. And Timothée Chalamet, oh my God, I love this character in this one that I did in the first one. Even though, don't get me wrong, I thought he was incredible in the first one, but this one, Timothée Chalamet shows his performance that I did not think he was capable of doing, especially in the scene. Without spoiling anything, but this was in the trailer. You see Timothée Chalamet yelling silence with when the mother was speaking out of turn, and it when you watch it in context, it makes perfect sense, and it was so intense, and he was so terrifying. It shows you that now you're my bitch. It adds a lot more of a deeper impact when you see the first one when Paul Atreides was doing the test with the mother who had that needle near his neck and try to test him and use that voice command against him for the first time. And you remember when Timothy Chalamet said in the first one, "How dare you use that voice against me in this house?" Now he gets a little bit of a payback, and I thought that moment right there was absolutely great. And some of the few new characters like Florence Pugh, who is the princess of the universe with who is the daughter of the emperor played by Christopher Walken. I thought that she had a good amount of screen time. I thought her character development was so good. I mean, I wish that Christopher Walken, who is the emperor of the universe, the one who's pulling all the strings, I thought he had a good moment on screen. But the problem is that he didn't really have that much development and didn't have that much screen time. And I was a little disappointed, but I'm pretty sure that they have bigger plans with him sometime in the future, but I wanted a little bit more of him. Javier Bardem, who is one of the leader of the Vermin, I thought he was fantastic and in. He continues to crush it. There was some good small humor here and there that I thought really delivered. The action, the set pieces, took it a big of a notch, especially the hand-to-hand combat was so faster, more agile, and more intense, and they make you feel it, and you're in the moment with them when they're in the middle of the fight. And when you see this new character who is an assassin who is hired on to take control of the spice and tries to get the job done quicker, better than what the other guy had done, and he is a psychopath. Like Austin Butler's character was so menacing. He gave me that little bit of a Darth Maul vibe, and he's kind of the Darth Maul figure that he should have been in the Phantom Menace. He had a lot more dialogue. He had a lot more in depth, and he was such a psychopath that he would be willing to kill his own people whoever did something wrong or for no reason at all, just for the sake of it. That's how terrifying he was. I mean, and I've heard that Timothée Chalamet, when they were shooting on set, Timothée Chalamet was so terrified of Austin Butler while they were doing a scene together. And yeah, he was right. I was terrified myself. The fight scene between him and Paul Atreides really delivered. Oh my God. This did not hold anything back of the brutality, the violence. It felt a little bit more R-rated. This is not made for kids. And the storyline delivered. I loved it. Josh Brolin continues to shine on screen. I loved him. Rebecca Ferguson's character, who is supposed to be the mother, who is supposed to be Paul Atreides' mom, they take a different character shift that I did not see coming. And there's a one major plot twist that I cannot believe that they went in that direction, and I did not see coming. But I don't know if it was done in the book, but I'm pretty sure that if some of you have read the book, you probably already know what the plot twist. Like overall, this is a movie you definitely got to go see if you're a fan of Dune Part 1 and watch it on an IMAX screen. It's a major difference because I believe that they shot the whole film in IMAX. I could be wrong. Wait till you get to the whole battle sequences and how much they crafted, and they did it so beautifully well. The sandworm battle, oh my God, what you saw in that trailer and you saw it in context, it was awesome. Seeing Paul Atreides doing his final test to becoming a vermin by riding a biggest sandworm out there and really becoming part of the people. Oh my God, it was so fucking good. And by the time you get to the end of the film, without spoiling anything, this takes in a different, darker direction that I did not see coming. This is not really going to be like the happy ending like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings type of thing. No, this feels a little bit more Game of Thrones, and the stakes are high. This is not going to go the way you think it's going to go in the end of the film, and it leaves you speechless. But it also, when the credits starts to roll, you just want to jump right into the third movie right away. And I know that Denis Villeneuve said that his script for Doom Messiah, I think that's what the title is going to be called, that he's almost finished with it. And he wants to make sure to take his time to make sure it's done perfectly well and not feel rushed. And I respect that. I loved his work, what he did with Prisoners, Sicario, and And I like Dune I like Blade Runner 2049, even though I didn't love it as much as many people did, but I thought he did a good job, and I wasn't Arrival was kinda like my least favorite of his movies, but he's really continuing to evolve as a filmmaker and as a science fiction storyteller. So far, this to me is one of the best science fiction films I've seen in years, that was done beautifully well, that it focuses more on storytelling, and it didn't have to rely on big explosions and action set pieces just for the sake of it. It had a purpose to it, and it wasn't afraid to have a dark ending. And a couple of weeks back, when Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve did a video together, Christopher Nolan saw the film and said that this is a lot more of the Empire Strikes Back, and I gotta say I completely agree. Now, look, maybe if I watch it a few more times, I don't know if I'm going to feel the same way as saying that this is one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time or one of the greatest movies of all time. But maybe if I watch it a few more times, and I'm definitely going to go see this movie many more times. And I don't know if my opinion might stay. It might change, it might not. I just hope that my opinion still stands. If you love Dune Part 1, there's no doubt in my mind that you're gonna love Dune Part 2, especially if you're a fan of the books. Now, look, I'm not gonna say that this movie is gonna be made for everybody because there are some people out there that I know that weren't a big fan of with Dune and didn't really connect with the characters, didn't connect with the story, they thought it was a little bit boring and it just wasn't made for them, and that's fine. You know, that's the beauty of being a film fan, that art can hit people in different ways. And if you're asking, do I have to watch Dune Part 1 to have an impact on Dune Part 2? Yes, you should. You should definitely watch Dune Part 1 because then if you have not watched Dune Part 1, then you're going to get completely lost and confused. You might have a better idea of what this is about and where this is going, but you have to watch Dune Part 1 because Dune Part 1 is the first half of the book and Dune Part 2 is the second half. And I cannot wait to see where this is going to go because I desperately need to know where this is going to go because it ended on a dark note. It wasn't a happy ending at all, and it took a different shift of Timothée Chalamet's character that I did not see coming. Oh my God. I could talk about this movie all day, and Denis Villeneuve as a director fucking nailed it. I can't wait to see where the third movie goes. Now, have you seen Dune Part 2? What did you think of this movie? Are you on the same boat as me? Do you agree with me? Or are you someone out there that thought, no, this wasn't for me? I gave it a chance and it just did not live up to the hype. Like, let me know in the comment section below and tell me your thoughts. And if you like this video, leave it a like. And thank you for watching my videos. Subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. I appreciate you guys' support. And make sure you share this video. And I love talking about movies. I can't wait to get in more into 2024. And Dune Part 2 is the best film coming out of 2024 so far. I know some people that were very turned off by right now with early 2024, but if you want to see a damn good science fiction epic film and if you want to have a better like a grand scale, this is one of them. I could definitely see this getting an Oscar nomination. Now, I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from. I hope you guys go out and see it as soon as you can if you're a fan of the first movie. And I hope you guys stay safe and take care.